interpretation, though, this was, of all the translating and interpretation I've done, this is my favorite. I was at San Diego Comic-Con, oh my god, what year was that? Probably about 1996, 1995. And I was put on a manga panel. It was 96 because I had done my own manga then. And I sat on a manga panel with Monkey Punch, who's the creator of Lupin.
This was 8 years ago, was it not?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I sat. It was longer than that. It was the 90s. It was still when I was living in Japan. So I sat on this panel with him, and the translator never showed up. So they said, "Hey, Jan, can you translate?" I'm like, "Yes." But that sucks because that means I'm not actually sitting on the panel. I am translating for him. So I'm like, "All right, whatever." So, the people were asking him assorted questions, and it was interesting. I never met him before. I didn't know anything about him other than he created Lupin. So it's new to me. And he was talking about how he loved Mad Magazine. And also, at this time, the con people kept coming in. They're like, "The translator, we can't find her. We can't do this." I'm like, and then they come in, they go, "Oh, we have a present for him, so at the end, keep him here." I'm like, "Okay." So I was getting this, and I was getting this, and I was getting this at the same time. And and he is a revered figure, so I was trying to be really straight up with how I was doing and how I was translating the questions to him as well. Because somebody would say something, and then I have to turn into this really polite, and then back, and then I throw it back in American, very simple, basically what that person said. So anyway, I went through and he was talking about Mad Magazine and how he was a total fanatic of Mad. And Mort Drucker, who's one of the artists there, he is a huge fan of Mort's. And so he would actually lay out his Mad magazines and look at Mort Drucker's artwork. We've all done this, with manga and anime. He would lay it out and he would just and he would get inspired from it. And I was like, okay. And it was funny because when he was first talking about Mad, he was saying Mago, which is window. I'm like, window magazine?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Mad, oh crap, It's like, yeah, whoops, And that was wonderful. And anyway, so he was, and it was in the 80s when the yen was like $3.75 to the dollar. He flew to New York City to meet Mort Drucker.
Whoa.
He went to the offices of Mad Magazine in New York City, walked in and said, "Hi, this is my real name. I would like to meet Mort Drucker." And they said, "Oh, he lives in Florida."
Oh!
And he's like, "Oh!" And he flew back to Japan because that's all he could do.
Yeah.
And he spent his life savings on doing this, and it's like, dude, you gotta make a phone call, but whatever. Anyway, so he went back and he would come to different cons and he never got to meet Mort. And so, that was, I was like, okay. And he was talking about some interesting things, like how he didn't like Castle Cagliostro. He didn't like Miyazaki's version of his characters, which I thought was fascinating.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, really? He didn't like the way it was handled. He thought, he wanted
that Miyazaki guy, what's he know about it?
I know. I was like, and I'm translating this going, and people are, oh, I'm like, no, I'm just piping this through. Yeah. And at the end of the panel, the Comic-Con people came in, and we stepped down from the stage. We were standing there, and they said, "We know you've come here from a long way. You've come here for many years, and you've done such great work in comics. We have a present for you. Meet Mort Drucker." So now I get to translate this. Oh. And I was like, and Monkey Punch is crying, and Mort Drucker's like, he's the sweetest man, and I'm like, and because I was just in that moment, I was working back and forth interpreting as best I could. And I was like, it is very rare in your life that you get a moment like that. That this guy's his life ambition, his wish that he has worked so hard for in his entire life has just been realized, and you're the one who has to explain it. I mean, it's very rare that you get that, but at the same time, they were very simple with what they were talking about. And Mort was so sweet, and Monkey Punch was really sweet, so that worked out. And I'm really proud and happy that I was able to be there and do that. And Mort's like, "You gotta come to my house to Monkey Punch." I'm like, "Yeah," and he comes to me, "You should come too." I'm like, "Okay." Mort's really cool. His wife's really cool. So, sometimes it rolls up that it's like, that's all worth it. That makes everything else, no matter what it was, all worth it.